7 years ago, when our founders, Henry Bertolon, Bill Howard, Rich Marino, Thad Simasco, and Paul Van Ness, bought the Cabot and opened its doors as a nonprofit, they knew that they had to save this beautiful theater and preserve this shared piece of our history. What they didn't know for certain was how the community would rally around this effort. We couldn't have imagined in just 7 years we would be 75% done with major capital improvements, would have nationally acclaimed artists grace our stage nearly every weekend, and that we would be holding healing community conversations inside our historic walls. The first thing I remember when I walked in these doors was, wow! This theater has to be brought back to life to be the centerpiece of this community. The next thing I remember thinking is, these orchestra seats have to go. One of the first improvements we made was to replace the orchestra seats. Next came the upgrade of the HVAC system, which is no small feat to accomplish with a historic theater. We had many supporters to thank when our capital campaign was launched with this daunting project. Our street-side bar was conceived during the HVAC renovation, a much-needed extra space that could help us be more efficient during busy shows and hold private sponsor and member receptions. In 2019, we turned our attention to the balcony, replacing all the seats, adding much-needed lighting in the aisles, and opening up the opera boxes which had been closed to the public for decades. We also added new sound and lighting systems to make our concert experiences rival that of bigger venues in Boston. Once a vision of 1920s splendor with a vaulted ceiling, neoclassical chandelier, and ornate plasterwork, the lobby needed a lot of money and attention to be brought back to life. The beauty of what was uncovered cannot be overstated. We found the original movie poster cases underneath wood paneling, surrounded by marble that we later buffed and patched. Big sections of ornate plaster were damaged and needed to be replaced. The historic plaster was beautifully repaired by some incredible local artisans. Gone are the Formica countertops, drop ceiling, and sterile fixtures that were popular in the 1960s when the ceiling was covered up to add air conditioning. Stefano Basso and Thad Simasco of SV Design envisioned this beautiful new concessions counter and bar to look as if it were here on opening night in 1920. We were also able to tackle some other critical projects at that time: trusses for the stage, a state-of-the-art air filtration system, and the restoration of the proscenium. The 15-month shutdown of the Cabot during the pandemic taught us a lot of things. To be human is to connect with others, aspire to be better, and dream big dreams. The arts have a miraculous way of helping us do just that. What is the Cabot's vision when our historic theater is fully renovated? As our country struggled through many months of lockdown, political division, and the turbulence of racism, the importance of talking and learning from each other on topics that matter took center stage at the Cabot. In June 2021, we hosted our first Community Conversations event. We talked about the importance of building diverse and equitable teams in our workplaces, schools, and organizations. Community Conversations are free events offered monthly to encourage discussion and drive social change. We've hosted conversations on food insecurity, homeless veterans, the rights of citizens with disabilities, and protecting our environment, with many more topics to come. The Cabot is now a meeting place to promote dialogue and understanding. Community Conversations is a good place to start, but we feel the Cabot needs to do more for our community, especially for our kids. We are inspired by our partnerships with the nonprofit Filmmakers Collaborative and the Reel to Reel program at Raw Artworks in Lynn. The Cabot knew that we could make an impact in the lives of underserved kids by helping them tell their stories through film. Most kids have been creating short videos for years. This is a medium that they love. We knew we could offer them a platform to use this interest for healing and self-expression. The Cabot's In Focus program was born with support from the Van Otterloo Family Foundation, Someone Else's Child, the Lynch Family Foundation, and many other supporters. In hiring for this program, we were looking for just the right person who could not only teach middle school kids the art of filmmaking, but who could also support, nurture, and inspire them at a critical point in their young lives. In November 2021, Desiree McMahon joined our team. Desiree went to the Raw Artworks film program when she was a student in Lynn. While there, she created award-winning films and fell in love with photography. After high school graduation, Desiree was then hired at Raw Artworks and began her journey of motivating kids to find their voice through filmmaking. we envision many budding young filmmakers coming through our doors with something to say, a safe place to go, and some new skills to help them on their way, wherever their paths may take them. What a wonderful way to use our beautiful historic theater. What is left to do to finish the renovations? The elevator. ADA compliance is our top priority as we prepare to add an elevator to our mezzanine lobby. Roof repair. Not sexy at all, but it will be nice to not have to look at what we like to call the orange monster anymore. The facade of the Cabot. So many people have told me that they've driven by the Cabot for years and never knew what a beautiful theater was housed inside such a drab facade. A new Cabot Club members lounge so our supporters can gather before and after events. The Cabot unites our community through projects like public murals, our Kids at the Cabot series, and celebrations like our annual Academy Awards party, while also offering the theater as a space and resource to nonprofit events and fundraisers. The Cabot is not just a performing arts venue, it is the anchor of our arts community in Beverly and a catalyst for economic growth in our region. Join us as we tackle the future together and let the power of the arts lead the way.